Welcome! Today we're going to dive deep into a word you might think you already know, the Korean idea of bok, or blessing. Now, it's a word that's literally woven into the culture, but our source material for this, which looks at it through a biblical lens, is going to show us a meaning that might just surprise you.
So, let's start with a phrase you hear everywhere in Korea when the new year rolls around. 새해 복 많이 받으세요. You've probably said it, you've heard it a million times. It's a warm, hopeful greeting that seems pretty simple on the surface. But what if there's a much deeper story packed into those few words?
Because what if that familiar wish for good fortune is actually rooted in a long and kind of sorrowful history of hardship? A history we're just surviving. That was the blessing. Let's unpack that because it's fascinating.
To really get what bok is all about, we first have to look at how different cultures say hello or wish each other well. You know, it's funny how the way people greet each other can tell you so much. It can reveal the very soul of a nation and its history.
Okay, check out the contrast here. In North America, the wish is for a state of being. Be happy. For Israelis, it's about security, shalom, or peace. But the Korean greeting? It's different. It's a wish to receive something tangible, blessings. And that little difference is everything.
Yeah, this focus on receiving something, a lot like the Israeli wish for peace, points to a history of real scarcity and danger. I mean, think about other classic Korean greetings. Were you safe overnight? That wasn't just small talk. It was a real question, because the night could be a time of real peril. And it's the same with, have you eaten? That became a greeting because for so long, going without a meal was a common, harsh reality.
So, while this history of hardship can kind of lead to a more materialistic view of bok, the source material we're looking at argues that the real concept is actually so much richer and way more positive.
So the first thing we've got to do is move past this idea that wanting blessings is somehow greedy or a bad thing. Our source really encourages us to see bok as this bright, beautiful part of a flourishing life that, we should all want.
And this right here, this gets to the true definition. Bok isn't just about money or getting a promotion, it's about holistic prosperity. This idea that all the different parts of your life, from your health and your relationships to your work, are all thriving together in harmony.
Okay, so if bok is this amazing, all-encompassing prosperity, the big question is, where does it actually come from? Is it just random luck, or does it have a source?
Well, according to the biblical text in our source, bok isn't a matter of chance at all. It's a gift. It flows from a divine source whose fundamental desire is for all of creation to flourish, to be fruitful, and to just grow and prosper.
I absolutely love this metaphor. A blessing isn't something we have to struggle and claw our way up to get. No, it's something that flows down to us. It enriches our lives the same way rain comes down from the heavens to bring life to dry, barren soil. It's a gift of grace, plain and simple.
And we see this idea demonstrated so powerfully with the figure of Abraham. He was promised blessings, sure, but not just for himself. It was for a much bigger purpose. He wasn't meant to be just a recipient. He was meant to become a wellspring.
So if these blessings are flowing down from a divine source, how do we position ourselves to, catch them? Our source is super clear. This is not about passively waiting. It's about cultivating a very specific relationship and a certain kind of attitude.
The path is laid out as this simple but profound three-step process. It starts with hearing, which then leads to obedience, and then from that obedience, blessing just flows as the natural result. It's more like cause and effect, not like winning the lottery.
And this is the absolute key you have to understand here. In the biblical sense, to hear is to obey. The original Hebrew word, shema, implies action. It's a deep, responsive listening that changes how you live. It's about aligning your life with the source of the blessing. Because just hearing without actually doing anything, well, that's meaningless.
Jesus himself really drives this point home, powerfully. Just look at the people he calls blessed. It's not the rich, not the powerful, it's those with a certain kind of character, the poor in spirit, the merciful, the peacemakers. He taught that blessings don't flow to your social status, but to a specific posture of your heart.
And this right here leads us to the most transformative idea in this entire explainer. This is the absolute core of the message. A blessing that stops with you isn't really a blessing at all.
A blessing is meant to be a river, not a swamp. Think about it. Stagnant water just breeds decay and rot, but a flowing river, it brings life wherever it goes. The true power and value of book is only realized when it flows through you to enrich the lives of other people.
And this takes us right back to that important distinction with Abraham. He wasn't called to be a destination for blessing, like a reservoir where it all just stops and pools up. No, he was called to be a source, a channel from which blessings could flow outward to everyone else.
People once understood just how valuable a divine blessing was. Get this. Hard-working pioneers would literally stop plowing their fields in the middle of the day and walk to church just to be there for the final benediction, the proclamation of blessing. That's how vital they believed it was for their lives.
This poses a really challenging question for us today, doesn't it? In our rush to beat the traffic out of the parking lot or to get to lunch, have we just lost our reverence for receiving a blessing? Are we treating this profound act like it's just an afterthought, something to be skipped if it's inconvenient?
The contrast couldn't be more stark. The source describes the life without this flow of book as barren and dry, like a constant struggle. But a life with that blessing, that life is verdant and fruitful, filled with the energy and vitality to produce good things.
So, the ultimate takeaway is this. The goal isn't just to pile up blessings for ourselves. That's only half the story. The truly blessed life is the one that becomes a blessing to others. Receiving is valuable for sure, but sharing is what makes it priceless.
And so we end with a question for you to think about. What's the direction of your book? Is it all flowing inward, creating a stagnant pool? Or is it flowing outward, a life-giving river enriching the world around you?